Hello, my lovelies. It is the Cozy Canadian Book Nook, and I am Caitlin, here to bring you my December TBR. I am participating in two readathons, um, and there's a couple changes to my previous video, what I was doing to count down to the winter solstice. Um, the change being, I thought I was going to read more on my vacation. Today is not my final day of vacation. I'm going back to work in a couple hours. Um, I thought I'd read a lot of books. I thought if I didn't read a lot of books, I was going to play a lot of Pokemon. I ended up doing neither and sunk my entire vacation into Warzone DMZ. So I played a lot of Call of Duty. um, also spent a lot of days with my family. Lost a couple days because I deal with migraines a lot, and that just sucks. Uh, so I only read one book. I might have to tweak my little no, I'll have to change it completely because I'm taking books out of my mysterious wrapped books that I'm reading for my two readathons, which are Reindeer Readathon, which I am part of Team Candy Cane, and I'm also reading for Havoc-athon over the holidays. So I'll go through Reindeer Readathon first because they have a lot more prompts. I am using books for both. I'm doubling up. Um, so Reindeer Readathon. Finish a series that you just keep picking up and putting down, and perfect book for that. I started not the beginning of the year, but it was pretty close. I started buddy reading with a friend of mine the Wheel of Time series. So I'm on book 5, I want to say. But it was getting so tedious. They're such long books. Book 5, I kept picking up, reading a little bit, putting it down. And that was like 3 months ago. So I am going to finish part 5 of Wheel of Time. It's not that I don't love the series. I love this series. It is so good. But it was just. I was having a hard time getting into the 5th book. So I'm going to do Wheel of Time. The second prompt is cursive flowy font. I'm going to do Kiss Her Once for Me, which I want to say. Yes, Charm Defensive. It's the same author that did Charm Offensive, which my friend recommended me. Charm Defensive, loved it, so she recommended this to me because I didn't even know it was out. It's this cute little. Um, she has like a very quick fling with this girl, and then later on she has this marriage of convenience where she's gonna like marriage and get an inheritance. Uh, Basically, he gets the inheritance, she gets to live comfy. They're not really in love. It's just like they both profit off of it. So to cement to the family, like, oh no, we're really in love. We're not doing this for the inheritance. They get put in a cabin, and uh, meets the guy's sister, and the sister happens to be the girl that she had a fling with. So now she's got to choose. She's like, oh my god, I like both of you. The next prompt is favorite season on the cover, and I'm going to tell you right now, I cheated on this because my favorite season is fall or autumn, and I just could not get inspiration. I looked and looked for covers, so I'm just gonna go with uh my favorite holiday being Christmas. Even though I don't celebrate Christmas, it's going to be the holiday switch. And this is a really cute this boy girl, and they mix up their phones, so they end up with each other's phones, and they learn all these different things about each other. And I'm not really sure much more than that. Sounds like a really cute concept. Really interested in reading it. Next one is book may be a little bit overhyped. I am hoping it's not because I heard some really good things about it, and I was going to read Book Lovers. There's a ton of books like this that are coming out. They got the same cover. They're kind of like, I want to say they're just like mass-produced romances. But and I've been let down by these before. Like the Love Hypothesis was, ugh. The Unhoneymooners was one of my worst books I've read. Like, so I'm hoping this is going to be different. I've heard good things about it. We'll see. Uh, astrolo- Astrological word in the title. So sun, stars, moon. I actually haven't found one for this. I do have the audiobook for Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which is a duology. So I might go with that one. I actually don't know anything about that one. Um, I can't give you a description on it, but with all of these books, I am going to do, as soon as I finish reading them, I'm going to do a quick little clip of my thoughts and feelings and a little review. And I'm going to do the same thing that I was going to do with my countdown to the countdown to the winter solstice, and group all of those and release them at the end of December as like a little review of all the books that I've read. Favorite trope. Uh, no, this isn't a specific trope, but it is like my favorite book that I'm looking forward to reading out of like all these Christmas books. And it's How to Excavate a Heart. It's a little sapphic romance. There's a dog walker, and I can't remember what the other girl's profession is, but she almost runs into the dog walker. She almost runs her over. And somehow, it doesn't really say in the description, I don't think, they get put together, so it's like a forced proximity for the holidays, and they grow some feelings for each other. I can't wait to read this book. It sounds so freaking cute. Not a fan of the cover, so I don't want people to hate on me for this, because I know this is a cool cover, like, people like it, I understand the style, it's just, the book is Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and I am really interested in reading the story, but the cover just doesn't do it for me. I like colorful, I like So this is a coffee shop that's been running for hundreds of years in, I think, like a back alley in Japan. And there's rules and regulations. It's very strict, but you basically travel in time. But you can only travel as long as your coffee is still warm. So that sounds so interesting. And I think it follows like four people's stories going into it, it sounds like. That's going to be pretty cute. Start a new series. I've actually started this at 1 o'clock in the morning. I started the first book in a duology, Haunting or Hunting. I think it's Haunting Adeline. And I don't know too much about it. I know it's a spicy book. I think there's like a stalker involved, but there's also like a haunting. So I don't know if it's like a ghost or if she's actually being stalked by someone. But it's a spicy novel, so I guess I'll just find out. So, the last one is Roll 0 to 9, book ending in. So, I rolled my dice as a 4, and basically, the book that I choose has to have like a 4 as the last number of the last page. Uh, so, I went with. I've actually got this one here Legends and Lattes, which is a Sapphic romance of. I believe one of these is a D&D adventurer, retires from adventuring to be a barista, and a cute little love story, I think. I guess I'll find out. So, those are my books, and I will be doubling them for Havoc-athon. And the prompts for Havoc-athon are fantasy, horror, sci-fi, which I'm going to double Wheel of Time. But if I have time, if I read all of these books, maybe I will, I am going to put in a horror in this spot instead. I bought No Exit, which is like winter snowy. I want to say it's Colorado because I remember I bought like a lot of Colorado books recently. So she basically ends up in a snowstorm. Her car gets stuck. She goes to a convenience store, probably to call, try and figure out what she's going to do. When she gets back to her car, there is another car there next to her, and I think by the description it's empty, and she like looks in the back, and there's a child in like a pet cage trying to escape. So really spooky. I think there's some paranormal in it by the sounds of the, but I'm not gonna read too much into it. I want to be surprised. It sounds like it's gonna be like a surprise ending kind of book. Next one is BIPOC representation. So ignore my ignorance. I don't know if this is like just black communities, but it does fit in with my holiday switch, which has romances representation. uh, as far as I know the woman for sure, but I wasn't able to find if the man is as well. But the woman is a Latino American representation, as well as the author, Tiff Marcello, is a Chinese American. So got some representation in there. Next one is Queer Rep, which I'm going to fit Legends and Lattes in there with the sapphic romance. Crime fish, the crime fiction and mystery. I'm going to slot in before the coffee gets cold because I feel like that's going to be like a little mystery, figuring out what the frig's going on. You're traveling in time in a coffee shop. And fiction. Red title is How to Excavate a Heart. Now, it's not like red, um, but it is. There's definitely warm colors on here. It's more of a pink, but I'm gonna say this is a red cover. And movie. Now, I have already watched a ton of Hallmark movies. I'm gonna watch a ton more. I don't have one specifically picked out, but I will have a review for you. You just wait till the book reviews come out. There's gonna be a movie review in there. Some sort of Hallmark movie is gonna be slipped in. So that is it. That is my huge book list that I'm hoping to get through in December. Uh, Last year was the year that I started reading books again. I used to read a lot. I love books. For some reason, I stopped. I just had no time. I had no money. So I set my goal, I think, for 20 books. And I can't remember how much I read, but I went over the goal. So I set this year for 40, thinking I'm going to double it. Right now, I'm currently sitting at 109 books that I've read out of 40. So if I can get through these, like I'm hoping to get like 125 by the end of the year, by New Year's. And then next year, I'm gonna set my goal to 150 books. And I'm gonna smash it. Because even this year, like March, I didn't read a single book in March. The start of the year was kind of shaky for me. So 150 books, I can do that. I can do that. So, I will see you in my next video with my little wrap up at the end of the month, at the end of the year. And hopefully, I have a plan for January, but I don't want to cement it. I don't want to, like, say this is exactly what's going to happen because every time I make a plan, it always changes in a couple weeks. But with the Goodreads that have come out with their, like, year-end awards, I know last year I was pretty disappointed with them. This year, I think what I want to do is I want to take like all the winners once they're announced and read all of those books and see if they are winner material in January. I'm going to read the books and see if they are worthy of Goodreads Book of the Year. So that's all I have today. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for joining us. Bye.